Hi Leos, this is Emi and this will be your shadow work reading for January 2025. So we've changed the setup a little bit. So now you can see the cards that I'm pulling. And I think that it's just making everything better. Happy New Year, happy 2025. May all your wishes become true. So I am slowly merging my practice into shadow work. So this is what we will be focusing on for 2025. This is something that I was guided to do. So how it's going to work is that we're going to pull a card from Jung's that I've created. These little decks that are pretty cool, that are representing with the 12 archetypes. And then we're going to move on with your reading. So, which archetype is represented by, or for Leo, I should say. So, which archetype is represented by Leo? Okay, we have two. We have Jester. I like that, and this fits pretty well with you guys. And we have Hero. I think Gemini got Hero. All right. I have the impression that right now you are definitely with a Jester. You're trying to fulfill your life with pleasure, and I have the impression that this really comes from the fire that you are represented with by being a fire sign. It's funny because you want to connect with others while making sure that you leave a mark on them, which is pretty nice. I just feel that you have this duality though between yourself and your ego, which is usually the strength card, the ego card, right? So I'm not even surprised to see the Hero for you, because you really want to show up. You want to show how important you are, and I'm not saying that by to dismiss you in any sense, but you are definitely, you want to show up, you want to be present, you want your presence to be known by others, you want to enjoy yourself, but you need to be careful to not fall into this egotistic part of yourself, right? And just be present as your own self and not your own ego. I'm wondering, so at the back of the cards we have like the motto, the core, the goal of these archetypes. So the motto is you only live once. Yeah, you're like definitely YOLO, which makes sense for Leo, right? It's definitely YOLO. And with the Hero, when there's a will, there's a way. So you are ready to push boundaries. And I feel that this has been going on for quite a while. And the shadow is trying to push these elements of your personality even more forward. But there could have been some resistance of you being capable of expressing yourself, of you being capable of showing for yourself who you truly are. So I feel that there's still this, how would I say that? This need of showing up in your costume of superhero, when in fact you just want to be the jester, you want to be the trickster, you want to be the fool, you want to be in the simplistic version of yourself. And I think that this makes a lot of sense. And I like that energy for you. I like the fact that you can be that, because it gives you multiple facets to play with in 2025. And I have the impression that your shadow is screaming like it's time to connect with others. It's time to enjoy more, in like more enjoyment than just being surrounded by people, right? So yeah, I really feel that everything is trying to push through. All right, let's sit down and let's see what are the other archetypes that you are embodying this month. I think that you need also to be careful, because I have the impression that, especially with the Jester, I feel, Leo, that maybe you are... What do I feel? It's so specific and I have issues putting the words on it. I have the impression that for some of you, you are focusing on bright, shiny things and not on the deeper levels of the soul. So you would rather be with people so they bring that version of you. We have Alethea, we have the shaman. That's an interesting energy for you guys. And we have the bucks. Who had the bucks? I wonder if it's Aries or Taurus. And we have the riddle. I have the impression that you are definitely need to embrace the shadow of yourself and be light and shadow at the same time, and know how much is providing to you if you can connect with both of these versions of yourself, right? I have the impression with the shaman, you could be a teacher, you could be a healer, you could be a manifester, and you're capable of seeing the gems in others. You're capable of knowing, like a guru, when the student is coming to you. You know when to provide with information and when to send back the student to go seek for some more answers on their own. And I have the impression that you stand in the middle of this box having so much to expand, so much to create, so much to hear, because I feel that there is messages that are coming to you, and you don't truly listen because you're too focused on listening to your ego and listening only to yourself. When your higher self, when your shadow is trying to push that information forward, and you're not there to listen. For some of you, you could definitely be focused on 3D elements, pleasure, fast food, fast spirituality, fast knowledge, everything that is super, super fast. Like I'm seeing this fire burning, and it's like it needs to go quick to the next step, to the next mission, to the next person. And I have the impression that there is a slowdown that needs to happen. Because I feel that for some of you, you are like tied to a lesson, tied to, I don't want to say a karma because I'm not sure it's there. There's a lesson that you need to learn, and I feel that you haven't learned it yet with the riddle. It's been the same pit stop. So you embark at this station and then it travels, and it always travels the same lesson because you haven't got the chance to address that. I'm sorry, my cat is meowing. It's time for you to understand what the shadow is bringing you. And I have the impression that you are vibrating to a very, very high level. You're just unconscious of it because you haven't tapped into your soul with your archetype. You're still a little bit more in the self, a little bit more in the ego, when you have the possibility to be the teacher. So I have the impression that you're still the student of life. Just because you haven't taken the time to really be into this element of being your soul, like understanding that you are a soul first, and then the self comes into this life, and then the ego is there to protect you. So yeah, like I really like that energy, guys. I really like that energy. It's a genuine energy. It's someone that hasn't yet awakened. But I feel that this been trying to push for a while. This like has tried over and over and over. And you find yourself sometime in moments where you're the shaman, where people are coming to you and you're capable of bringing like these like amazing tools, amazing knowledge, but then you go back to an empty box, and then you go back on the path of your riddle of like jumping in again in this timeline and not learning the lesson. All right, let's see. I want the divine first. All right, what more can you tell me? Okay. We have detachment. Yes, there is elements that you need to detach yourself from. You need to know that you are loved no matter what. I feel that there is things that are preventing you from moving forward. And this could definitely be some karma from this life that you need to detach yourself of. This could be people, this could be patterns, this could be your way of doing things right now that do not serve you anymore. I feel that for some of you, from the moment that you let everything go, that you detach yourself, then you're just feeling lighter. And the lighter you are, the better it is for you to move on and to fly away. I have the impression that for some of you, like it's funny because we have divine with the divine with detachment, and we have detachment. So we have like a confirmation, a double confirmation. And this card says, when you offer everything to the divine with detachment, you begin a love affair with spirit. And I feel that you need to detach yourself from things that do not serve you. You need to learn your lesson with the riddle once and for all, so you can finally like cut the cords to the people, the places, the behavior that has been hurting you basically for a while. The detachment card is, with detachment, you finally feel whole inside, with or without fulfillment of a particular desire. Ironically, that's often when it's fulfilled. There's definitely this cut the cord, cut the stem. I have the impression that for some of you, there's this stem that needs to be cut. And replanted somewhere else. But I feel that you're being asked to know that you are loved. You're being asked to know that you are worth it. And there is this transformation in surrendering. There is this heavy lifting that is being done because you're finally giving in. You're finally giving the control to the universe, to something that is greater than you. And that understand why you're here. What's your purpose? And ultimately will guide you to move closer to your mission, right? Give me more. We have delusion, and we have letting go. There's definitely something that you need to let go, and it could be about grieving. It can be about the hurt that you've been experiencing. I have the impression, I'm just gonna move the cards around, guys, so for you to see a little bit better. I have the impression that for some of you, you've been through some, wow, throat chakra, you really need to express. You really need to express yourself. I have the impression that for some of you, you are still holding on to things And you're just being asked to just surrender. And that's funny because that's exactly what I was saying right before I pulled out these two cards. You need to surrender. And it's not good enough to just have the intention to heal, the intention to have your shadow work, the intention to put the work in. You need to do it. You need to surrender. And there is a lot that you can achieve. Not everything is on your control, right? The universe has a great sense of humor, and sometimes they have plans for us. I have the impression that for some of you, you are grieving something. You are grieving something that you've been through for quite a long time. And for some of you, it's like it's in a box. And you need to open that box. I have the impression that you probably pushed to the side that wound, that trauma, and now it's in the shadow waiting to be unfolded, waiting to be unboxed once and for all, so you can learn your lessons, so you can get out of that box as well. I have the impression that this wound made you protective of yourself, protective of your energy. I have the impression that this is why you are the Jester too. You are, or even the superhero. In fact, thank you, Spirit. I have the impression that for some of you, it's like you've created this Jester, this superhero, because being just yourself hurted you once or multiple times, and I have the impression that you've been betrayed by people, and this is why now you need to show up like you're the best thing ever, but this person is not a real person. This person is just a wounded person that needs to compensate for the hurt because they haven't addressed or let go. My throat chakra is crazy activated right now. I have the impression that for some of you, you need to speak, you need to write, you need to process things as soon as possible because it's really, really in need of being addressed. All right, I'm back to standing, guys. I'm back to standing. I like when my feet are on the ground, just wearing socks or barefoot because I feel that I'm more anchored and even more connected. Tell me more about Leo and the shadow. What is the grief about? Childhood. I think you saw something when you were a child. And I have the impression that you weren't allowed to talk. And this is why my throat chakra is activating so bad, because you saw something and you weren't allowed to talk. And bottom of the deck we have tears. I think that I'm gonna go even deeper. You weren't allowed to cry when you were a child. It was frowned upon. That's what I heard. It was frowned upon, and you weren't allowed to express your feelings. And I feel that for some of you, you saw your mother crying a lot too. It was not the best environment. That energy is strong, Leo. This is very, very strong. All right, what else? What do they need to detach? What do they need to detach from? Whew, that energy was very intense. We have give. We have expand. We have joy. This is why you feel like you need to give. I have noise. We have create. And we have chaos. And we have courage. This card has been showing up for a lot of signs that I've been doing. Having the courage. And even on TikTok, having the courage to face things. I have the impression, that pit in my stomach is really, really heavy. I have the impression that for some of you, you feel like you need to give a part of yourself in order to compensate for the hurt that happened here. You feel like the more you're going to give, the more you're going to expand, the more you're going to feel joy. But I have the impression that it's just, you're masquerading. It's a masquerade. I'm not sure about that word. You're covering the noise. You're covering the noise of your brain. What are your thoughts saying? What is your shadow saying by overgiving? Because this is your way of dealing with this. And overgiving is a response to trauma. And most of the time when we're children, we don't have the power to do anything. So we're trying to overdo as an adult, because we think that we're going to be loved better if we do so. So I feel that you think that you're going to expand shaman the box and you're going to be or feel joy by overgiving, but you're covering the noise, the parts that you don't want to address, and this is just creating more chaos. This is just creating more chaos when there's more resistance, because there's no more flexibility, right? There's this resistance. And the hero feels like if he cannot give, then he's useless. And that's his fear, right? Being useless. I have it here. Weakness. Hold on a second. Fear, weakness, vulnerability, being a chicken. But there is definitely this sense of being scared of not doing anything for others. I'm trying to move the cards, but for you guys to see, but I keep on making a bigger mess. All right, let's do that. This is where I'm a little bit anal, but oh well. We're gonna let it edit as long as you can see. I think you do. Okay. Whew, that was intense, guys. I wasn't expecting that. All right, let's pull some tarot card. How can you address the shadow? Interesting. I have the impression that it's not the time anymore to be patient. It's not the time anymore to be patient with yourself. It's time for action. It's time to realize that you are carrying these burdens. I still feel like I'm still under the impression that you're still fighting it. If it was like this, I would say, oh, you're finally realizing what you're carrying, but then you're just forcing things up, even if it's heavy. So it's not time for patience anymore. I think that you think, it's funny because I have the impression that you feel that you don't feel balanced in this situation. And you won't. You won't until you do the work. But you don't need to be completely in balance to be able to address that. You need to start, and the balance will come by starting to address these things. Whoa, that's a little bit too much. Empress, 5 of Cups, 8 of Wands, 3 of Wands in the reversed. Okay. All right. Let's try to pull more cards. Okay, we have the Moon. What's hidden in the shadow, guys? I just told you. But for you, it's like there's this obscurity. There is this obscurity between light and shadow. There is unknown, and I feel we have still, you still don't want to address this thing, guy. That's crazy. I feel that you fear the obscurity. You fear addressing your shadow because it's scary. Let's face it. It's scary at first until you realize what was hidden, until you realize how much burden you were carrying and how much weight you were walking on your shoulder with. But I think it's time for the Moon to shine on why do you feel unbalanced, and why do you feel that it requires patience or not. It's time to put the effort, guys, into finding back this balance. And the only way in is a way out, right? Or the only way out is in. So I hope this helped you understanding yourself a little bit better. I hope you enjoy the shadow readings. It is super exciting for me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know if this is your situation, your energy. Join me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm posting daily readings on these platforms. And I will see you very, very soon. Take care. Bye.